Charlton, the final score.
Congratulations, a fairly physical game for your start.
Yes, it was, and often these games against the county teams in Northern Ireland are. We've been through this before and lost these games before actually. So it's always important to not lose your first game, and we've got a victory. We're pleased with that.
2-0 after 20 minutes. I thought it might have been a 4 or 5. I have to say the boys came back very, very well, competed very well. We actually said about half time to try and get the ball down and play football, and they actually told me in no certain terms that it was impossible to play football because the Charlton team were on them very quickly. But they came back very well in the second half. We got the penalty and we made a snap, an equaliser at the end.
Bayern Munich also set their stall out pretty early in the Premier match, although Fermanagh certainly did their best to upset them. But leaving Bayern captain George Niedermayer unmarked at a corner was criminal. 1-0 Bayern. There were a number of yellow cards in what was a tough physical contest, with neither team really stamping any authority. Just before half-time, Dwayne McManus was awarded a penalty for Fermanagh and made no mistake from the spot. 1-1 at half-time. The second half was just as evenly contested as the first, Bayern striker Kamer Atkes slotting home Mikhail Tislepas' cross from close range. But 10 minutes later, Fermanagh equalised again, and it was another penalty, again awarded to McManus, who again made no mistake from the spot. But just as Fermanagh were heading for a very commendable draw, a late Bayern goal sealed their opening win.
At Crystal Park in Banbridge, County Down's juniors faced a tall order against Mexican side Atlas, but they took the game to the South Americans from the start, Jamie Marsh going close early on. But Atlas took the lead after 15 minutes, skillful work down the right from Jorge Orozco, and Gerardo Núñez headed home. But just before the break, the home side were awarded a penalty when Kevin Doran was fouled in the box. And Chris Casement sent the keeper the wrong way from the spot for the equaliser. Into the second half, and it was another penalty which gave the Mexicans the lead, Casement fouling Diego Piero. And despite a brave effort to save from Trevor Carson, Mario Ortiz made it 2-1. The Mexicans had flair galore, this superb piece of skill from Juan Rendon ending up in a shot from all of 60 metres. County Down threw caution to the wind near the end, and with just 2 minutes to go, substitute Craig Harris took advantage of an Atlas lapse, and Portaferry lad Kevin Doran stroked in the equaliser. 2-2 it finished.
I thought over the 60 minutes we probably had more play and more chances in the box, and I thought we deserved to win it. We made the substitution, went for Brook at the last, played 3 at the back, went for Brook, and it worked.
In the Premier section, Down were up against Chilean side Universidad Católica. The home team put up a brave display, and they could have taken the lead after only 6 minutes. Chris Binks denied by the post with the keeper beaten. Gradually, though, the Chileans began to get a grip on things, and they went in front after 28 minutes. Adolfo Top, the scorer. 11 minutes after the restart, Universidad Católica breached the home defence again, and it was Top who finished the move off for his and his team's second. The third goal came with just a few minutes left, another flowing move with Ignacio Munoz able to apply the easiest of finishes. So 3-0 to the South Americans.
We thought our boys started off very, very well in the first 20 minutes. Maybe we could have had a go, but once the Chilean boys got their heads in front, I think we were chasing the game after that.
County Londonderry had their share of the chances in a very even first half against Everton, last year's junior section champions. James Vaughan was always a handful for the visitors, however, this acrobatic effort producing a fine save. At the other end, Clark Simpson had probably the home side's best chance to open the scoring, but he couldn't capitalise on a mistake by the Everton keeper. The first half finished scoreless. Derry continued where they left off in the second half, David McLaughlin scaring the visitors with this 25-yard free kick. But 2 minutes later, Everton had taken the lead, Scott Phelan finishing off a neat passing move. They were on a roll at this stage, and it was 2-0 shortly after, James Vaughan deservedly getting onto the score sheet, heading home Michael Johnson's free kick. It was all Everton really from then on. They created a number of chances, but couldn't improve on their tally. 2-0 the final score.
Before the game we spoke to the boys about how awkward it would be if we didn't take anything from this afternoon's game. Always going to be a difficult game coming here and playing Londonderry on the, I presume it's their home ground, with you know, vocal support. But I think we did well. I mean, we've kind of insisted that the boys, you know, pass it as much as they can, and when they do, you know, we've got some decent players, and it just goes to show you that you know, as strong as we were last year and as well as we did, you know, we equally would have believed that we've got a good side to come and play this year.
Meanwhile, in the Premier section, County Londonderry were up against the Brazilian side Botafogo. It was a fairly evenly matched first half, with both sides having a number of chances at goal. Just 4 minutes in, Cesar Augusto Hermenegildo hitting the crossbar. Then just before half-time, the home side had a great chance, Damien Power's free kick rebounding off the post. So at half-time, the game remained scoreless. After the restart, it was Botafogo who had the first chance, but Lawrence McCormick was quick with his reactions. Then 10 minutes from time came the only goal of the game. Following some good work by Caetano da Silva, he then set up Augusto Hermenegildo for a lovely low shot into the net. And so it ended 1-0 to Botafogo.
We did a pretty good game. Our other team is a good team. And all the first game it's hard because we had a long trip away. They are a little bit tired yet, but we hope to get better game by game.
Brazil's under-19 international side were in action in the elite section against a battling Northern Ireland team at Windsor Park. Brazil might have been the favourites, but Northern Ireland matched them all the way until just before the end, when Denise scored and celebrated the only goal of the game. There was a big change in the weather when the Milk Cup moved back to its more normal setting around Coleraine, Portrush and Port Stewart. But it was business as usual for Manchester United's Premier side as they coasted to a comfortable 4-0 win over New Zealand visitors Otago. 2 goals for Sylvain Blake. County Fermanagh's Premier side survived an early scare from Maccabi Haifa of Israel before they went on to a 1-0 win thanks to Kyle Lafferty. And County Tyrone claimed a 1-0 victory too over Birmingham City with a long-range shot from Stephen Cunningham. Another day, another haka and another heavy defeat for the boys from Samoa. This time it was 7-0 at the hands of Preston North End. James Archer's second-minute opener was followed by this drive from David Vaughan. Then Preston's twin wingmen Peter and Philip Wilson got in on the act with a goal apiece. 25 goals against, none scored in 3 games. It's been quite a learning experience for Samoa and their English coach.
We've come a long, long way in the 8 weeks since we've selected the team, and considering that the majority of them had never played in boots up until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, to get them out on the park today and experience this tournament has been tremendous. That's one thing that Samoans do. They always enjoy life, and they'll be on the bus going back, and they'll be singing and dancing, and if I could get them to sort of play as well as they sing and dance, we'd be up there with Brazil, I tell you.
They may have conceded a net full of goals in their 3 Milk Cup games, but Samoa did leave the province with 1 trophy, as Bob Brown of Tato presented the award for the most sporting junior team.
It was a blood and thunder contest at Anderson Park between Tyrone and Dundalk, at stake a quarter-final spot. 10 minutes in, Dundalk took the lead. The free kick floated in, the keeper nowhere, and Darren Mulroy with the header. A very even contest. Tyrone head back with 5 minutes to the break. Good movement and a good finish from Tyrone's Colin Harkin. Into the second half, both sides struggled to create chances, but Dundalk grabbed the decisive score 10 minutes from the end. Tyrone protested about offside, but Brian Devlin coolly slotted it home. To compound their problems, tricky winger Adrian McCaffrey was red carded for saying something to the linesman. A disappointing end, but both sides deserve praise for a fine game.
We've met them on a couple of occasions before, performed well today. I'm glad the guys got the 2 goals, put it in the bag. Come on, Dundalk.
And Hearts have joined Dundalk in the draw after a 1-1 draw with Charlton. It was Charlton who took the lead, with de Montignac finding the corner with a well-drilled shot. But as time slipped away, the Scottish visitors booked their place in the last 8 with a last-minute strike by sub Mark McCusker.
In this, 6-7 games, playing in a week, you've got to use your pool to the full advantage. And as I said, Mark McCusker has came over as a younger boy with good prospects for the future, and that's why we're just slowly bleeding them in. But after today, I'll probably bet me to play him tomorrow from the start.
In their Premier quarter-final, Manchester United were up against the Greeks of Panathinaikos. And it was goal machine Sylvain Blake who saw them safely through to the next round.
Great team,